Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Riffield Models 1/35 scale. This is the British Sherman Firefly, and it's great to have this particular kit. Been wanting to do a Firefly for a while, and if Riffield Models are up to their usual par, it should be an absolute great kit. Anyway, nice little bit of box art on the front, which we can see down on there. Having a look around on the box, we can see different versions. So we've got different gun mantles, we've got different hatches down in here as well for the different ones. You can see some of the details in this look very, very nice indeed. Kit number for this one is 5038. And some of the different ones down in there. So we can see we've got the Northamptonshire Yeomanry in France, 1944. We've got from the Netherlands the British Armoured Division, 5th Guardian Armoured Brigade, 2nd Armoured Battalion, Grenadier Guards, A Squadron, September 1944. Or we've got 1st Squadron, 2nd Armoured Regiment, the Polish 1st Armoured Division, UK, Spring 1944. Okay, so in the box we are greeted with, if that's going to stand up, I'm not sure, let's try that. Usual separate bagged ways of doing things. As you can see, some really nice stuff in here. That's a gorgeous textured turret. We've got the lower hull section. See multiple bags, all the different bogey parts, things like that. A bag of tracks. Ooh, that looks like fun. Okay, and then the usual bits and pieces. So we'll just flick those out there. Okay, as always, we'll start in the instructions. Okay, so we just spoke about those. This is your different markings. Obviously parts call out, all the bits down in there, and obviously your painting and decaling guide with those ones down in there. So straight into the lower hull, putting that one together right the way through, doing the actual drive areas. Obviously no glue because it's going to be a sort of workable one. We've got a little bit of photo etch going in at a very early stage. That's down here at the back for the rear doors. Okay, then onto the front area. So usual type of way with the Shermans, with this front end being fitted down into the sort of lower hull section. Then all the usual towing eyes and cables and bolt heads and everything else, like you imagine, goes right the way through. And then all of the parts being fitted down here for the tow areas. Again, nice little bit of photo etch, adding all that detail just down in here to the smaller parts at the back. And then we've got the sprockets and drive shafts and things like that all being fitted down into this one. And then again, choosing out your parts depending on which ones you're going to be doing. So obviously pay close attention to those. Have a good look through the instructions first. We've actually got the bogies being fitted down onto this one, and again some very nice details being added down in there, including the spring system right the way through on that one. And again, it's going to be semi-workable track on all of this one, so don't be going in here with glue, okay? And then fitting all of those on board. The tracks themselves, we see down in here, there's going to be a jig system, I think, which is going to put this together. It's going to give you a working system. I say working in the loosest term. Obviously you won't be driving this around too much, but at least it gives you a way of putting the tracks on. Very nice. Being a Sherman, they are going to be under tension as well, okay? So it's not so much of a problem. Open up some of the holes as well right the way through, and then add in the periscopes down at the front, and then obviously those details being put through depending if you're having that hatches open or closed. Extra little bits of track and armour things on there, caps, covers and stowage equipment all on the top. And then working our way round, all these areas being putted through. So again, we've got the actual covers for the engine being fitted down in here, and then depending where you're having various things in here, those ones fitted in for the actual gun clamp, things like that. Again, more items on the back, stowage bins being fitted down and on as well. Again, nice little bits of photo etch, it looks like, being fitted down there, or the smaller parts I should say, being fitted down in there. And then again, all the details being fitted on depending on how you have them. Very nice the way they've laid this out, showing you exactly where they go in the correct angles. And then we've got some reinforcements plates going down between the actual side skirts being fitted on, those ones being fitted on there. Again, more parts going on. Okay, then it's up into the actual top turret. So as you imagine, all the various parts going down in there. We don't get any internal details with this one, so it is literally just with the gun mantle and externals, depending on that breech system, depending which one you want on there being fitted those in. Okay, and then hatches obviously open or close, the gun being fitted up there right the way through, and then collars and various items, more stowage bins, all of these areas going fitted onto the back of the actual turret, and then the top and lower hulls coming together. And then your turret being fitted on the top, got a towing cable being fitted down in there right the way through. Some nice details in that, but it's one of those kits that should keep giving and giving. There's all that photo etch that we were looking at, so you're going to be fitting all this in. Really nice, you get it right out of the bat, which is lovely little details being fitted in there, especially with armour. That's your actual markings as well. Again, not many on armour, that's the nice thing to it. Okay, we've got some clear parts for the periscopes, and that is no real part having a look because they'll be fine. We got a bag of polycaps for the various parts for the track and the mantle. We have got the springs. This is the springs for that working suspension system. Again, it's really nice touch with the Riffield kits that actually comes with this straight out of the back. We've got a towing cable, or thread as we call it, and then we got these here separate bagged parts for the actual the wheel sprockets systems onto those, I do believe. Okay, where are we going to start? I'll tell you what, we will start in the highlight, I think, as the thing that has drawn me to Riffield Shermans is the casting texture. Now, we did a Sherman a while ago, and again, it's this casting texture. It is just so in scale. It's beautifully done. Really very, very nice done indeed. Okay, it just catches well in the light. It's one of these ones which just stands out. You're seeing it like that, it'll look absolutely great with the weathering. And even with just with the normal paint job, it's still going to hold its own and show through. But again, the details in here, it has that look, even in plastic now, of being very heavy. And that is what you want. So it's a really good starting your jump off point. But you can see there's all that detail on the top of that actual turret. So that's very, very nice indeed. Okay, so top of the hull. Again, that gorgeous casting effect. And this is why I like the Riffield ones. It has that all in there, just straight out of the bat. Really very, very nice indeed. You catch it. And then the sides, again, you can see it. It's so subtle, but it's just right. I really like the way they've done that. Hopefully you can see it, just catch it in the light. It looks right without being too in your face. And all of those things, it just happens to catch it. You see it and you think, oh, there's not a lot there. Then you catch it in that light like that, and suddenly it pops and you think, do you know what, that's beautiful. Really very nicely done. And again, looking from the top view, right the way through, really very, very nice indeed. Okay, so let's start with this big one down in here with all the hull parts. Okay, so as you see, multi-part hull, putting it all together, all right? But again, when you look at it on the close-up, the details really very, very nice indeed. So we're working our way through. You can see the bolt heads are all good. They're sharp. That's the nice thing. Good, sharp, crisp moulding on this one, right the way through. You can see, beautifully done on all of these. Got the rears, the fronts, the idlers, and again, just this casting is absolutely gorgeous down here on the back. And that front, again, you've got the mouldings down in here from the cast marks right the way through on those. Very, very nicely done. Okay, where are we going to go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Let's just run through all the bags. As I say, lots of parts on this one. Good parts count, to say the least. So, sprue C, as you can see down in here, again, really nice. Subtle little bits of casting in here again. All of these details. And again, the bolt heads nice and sharp. Very much in scale, things like that. And obviously we've got down here those sort of periscopes. Very good detail indeed. Okay, so we won't worry about in any particular order. This is a match pair sprue H. So we've got two of these. And you can see some of the smaller details down in there. So we've got the extinguisher, some of the clamps, some of the hatches, some various parts down in here, fuel tops, things like that, towing areas. Again, a little bit of flash on some stuff, to be honest, but you are looking at this incredibly macroed. Can't really see it with the naked eye, but on the close-up camera I can see a little bit of flash on bits and pieces, but we are talking very, very minute stuff indeed. Again, nicely done. Okay, drive, wheels, sprockets, road wheels, things like that. And this one. Okay, match pair again, so we've got two of these on sprue J. And if we just come straight in, as you can see, those sprockets with the details, good, sharp areas on there. And looking at all the return wheels, the road wheels down there. So they're hubbed, as you can see on the back. So you've got a hub system on those ones. And then working our way down, all the parts, bits for the bogies. These are these springs, which are somewhat workable as well. Okay, and again, really nicely done. Okay, so got the gun. Again, I'm sure you could swap out and go for a metal gun, but if you wanted to, sprue D, as you can see down in here. It's one piece cast gun, and then obviously we've got down in here the difference between the muzzles with the round or with the square type, depending what it is. So we've got the gun mantle down here, and again, that casting, you probably hear it, really very, very nicely done indeed on all of those. Okay, real good details in there. The ejector pins on the blind side are all just there. They're not raised or depressed, somewhere in the middle. Okay. These bags are really, really thin. Skingy bags. Okay, sprue B, as you can see. So sprue B. Again, we've got the gun, the mount for it. Got a couple of grease guns down in here as well. Some sort of stowage equipment, things like that. So you've got all your tools, your picks, your wrenches and pry bars, all the usual bits and pieces you can imagine right the way through, jerry cans. So a lot of your stowage items on this sprue. And then again, even on the blind side, are all pretty nicely done. With the grease guns and the browning, things like that. Very nice. Okay, then we've got the collar. And some of the hatches. So again, on sprue L here, probably just going from the top, you can see got some nice details. It feels sharp and crisp. And then working our way around, we've got the cupola, and then hatches, stowage bins, and again some of the smaller items down on here. Got the coax gun system in here, I do believe. Very nice indeed on sprue J. Okay, last up we have the track, which I don't really see the point of getting at because you can see it here. But on sprue S, obviously we've got how many? 4 of these for making it up. So this is one of those where you sort of start on a Monday and finish probably 3 months later. Okay, but there we go. So you get a jig. You've got a jig system down in here, I think, for making these up. So you've got pins for the actual popping those in, and say those pins all look pretty good. And then working your way through the track pads, inside and out on this one right the way through. So again, this is the center one where they're going to sort of go through, and it's the only trouble with armour is like sometimes I get quite into it, and actually when I ended up doing the ones for the Burke missile system, it was one of those where actually I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. When you look at it and you think, oh, I've got my 296 whatever it was each side, it's like and actually you get into a bit of a rhythm with it. It's not so bad, and I did it over the case of a couple of days, and away you went, really good. Anyway, there we go. That is the Riffield Models 1/35 scale Sherman Firefly. Beautiful. That's the only thing I can do to describe it. Straight out of the box there, you've got what you want. You've got all the detail. The highlights for me is obviously, same when we looked at the last Sherman they did, was the casting. The casting to me, for the first time, just seems right. It doesn't seem to be overdone. It doesn't seem to be too faint. You know, it just looks about right. And I think really with just a simple paint job and then a little bit of dry brushing with it just to make it stand out a little bit, or a filter over it, it'll be absolutely gorgeous, and it'll make it all pop, and it just gives it that heavy duty weighted look, and that's always what you want when you're doing armour. Okay, but anyway, there we go. Fantastic kit. Go out and get one.